so how, again, sorry, cut off there. How could you get this number plus this number equals 24, but this number amount that Crystal gets is twice as much as Alexa's, okay? So there's a possibility you could think of. You could also do, 12, but whatever numbers you get here, this one, Crystal's segments have to be twice as big as Alexa's because of this unit rate and this pattern we've been following, okay? So that is A right here, and then you get into B, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we start talking about Jared is 10 years old and his brother Peter is 15 years old. So what are some new true fruit worms they can share without having to make new cuts? So we're going to base their amounts on their year, how old they are, okay? So Jared was 10. He's 10 years old, so he's going to get 10 segments. And Peter is 15, so he's going to get 15 segments of the worm. So what's the total segments they can have? Well, when I add 10 plus 15, I get 25. Okay? And then you've got to find the unit rate again, just like we did up here with Crystal and Alexa, okay? So number 2 says, for each worm you described in part 1, write a ratio comparing the number of segments Jared gets to the number of segments Peter gets. Once you finish this chart, you'll have all those ratios. Okay, you have 10 to 15, and then what are the other equivalent ratios? Excuse me. Also see if you can get to this 2 to 1. It may not be a 2 to 1 ratio down here. We talked about in class 10 to 15 when we were figuring that out. If we split 10 and 15, 10 is 5 plus 5, and 15 is 5 plus 5 plus 5. So 10 is 2 parts of the 3 parts of 15. So this could be a 2 to 3 ratio. Okay? So when we add those together, a possible worm they could eat would be a 5-segment chewy worm, and Jared would get 2 pieces, Peter would get 3. Okay? Think about also what would it be if Jared only had 1 segment? How much would Peter get? Or what if Peter only had 1 segment? How much would Jared get? Okay, because you want to get down to that unit rate. But we have a 2 to 3 ratio right here, okay? And then B2, a 2 to 3 ratio you can use to help you find some other possible worms. 3 says, on number 2, you can just list the ratios you had in the chart. Number 3, are the ratios you wrote in part 2 equivalent to each other? So when we're writing down our ratios here, we've got a 10 to 15 ratio, a 2 to 3 ratio, and then list the other ratios you came up with. And then B3 said, are these ratios from B2 equivalent to each other? Well, yeah, they are. So yes, and then you've got to explain why they are equivalent to each other. And we talked about, I kind of drew out my 5 plus 5 and 5 plus 5 plus 5 here to show that 10 was 2 5s, 15 was 3 5s, so 10 is 2 parts of to 3 parts of 15, okay? So go into your explanation on that. Just word it the best you can, and then we'll talk about it when you get back. And then number 4, how would you write a unit rate to compare how many segments Jared and Peter get? So once you figure these out, you're going to have your unit rate, okay? Because remember that unit rate is, you've got to have one of the numbers have to be 1, because you want to do this many per this many, okay? And you want to use that word per in there, okay? So, there, talk about the unit rate and how you can compare Jared and Peter's segments with that unit rate, okay? So if you have any questions on this, I'm not going to go over part C. You're going to do all of the problems here, but I'm not going to go over C with you. Go ahead and try C on your own. And when you come back, you can ask me any questions, okay? Or shoot me some questions on Google Classroom. And we'll look at it when you get back if I can't help you online, okay? All right, good luck.